Welcome to Dads and Dollars podcast with your host, Stanley Funches, certified financial planner, business owner, author, speaker, and father of three. Listen as Stanley shares his valuable insights around fatherhood and finances gained from over 20 plus years of experience. You'll hear stories, lessons learned, and the ups and downs he and his guests have encountered on their journeys as fathers, professionals, and business owners. These shared lessons will help provide you a path for financial independence while celebrating the challenges of being a dad. Thank you for joining the conversation. Here's your host, Stanley Funches.
Good day. Welcome to Dads and Dollars, a podcast where fatherhood and finances are woven into many life topics. My name is Stanley Funches. I'm a certified financial planner by profession and a father of three in this thing called life. We are glad you can join us for season 1, episode 16. And in this episode, we're going to talk about measuring your financial health in this new year. So let's jump to it. All right, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope you guys had a great holiday season with your family. You know, there's no better time than that end of the year when you can spend time with the ones you love. So I hope everybody had a great time. And we know that the new year always starts out and everybody has their New Year's resolutions. And if you don't believe in New Year's resolutions, I'm sure you might have some goals and objectives that you want to take care of. And so me being the nerd that I am, spent some time during the holidays just kind of reading up on some things and came across a few articles that I want to make sure we talk about today, at least a couple of finance reports that we can talk about. And one of them has to do with a measure that I think is very important when it comes to measuring your financial health. It's something I talk to my clients about all the time, and that is your net worth. So what is your net worth? What are the components that make up your net worth? And, how do you address that over time? So as starting the new year, I would submit to you that looking at your net worth and understanding where you can adjust those things are going to be a very important part into financial health, not only for 2023, but on an ongoing basis. So some of the common components of net worth are, your assets minus your liabilities. And so assets being the things you own. So you may own your home, you may own some automobiles, you have cash savings accounts, you have checking accounts, you might have investment accounts, retirement plans, real estate, business. All of those things are assets, things that you own. And we subtract the things you owe. So if you have credit card debt, you have student loan debt, you have a mortgage, all of those things you subtract from the assets that you own minus what you owe, and then that will give you your net worth. It's the thing that I tell my clients, because we do holistic planning, we look at everything that they're doing, is that's the number that you judge me over time. My goal, my job is to help you grow your net worth over time as a financial planner, help you make those decisions that will put a positive impact on your net worth. And a lot of those decisions may be things beyond investments. They could be savings accounts. They could be making the right decision of what to pay down, when to pay it down. So it could be a number of factors, how to run your business better. It could be a number of factors, but we work with clients, and what you should do is try to figure out over time is how do you make those best decisions to make a positive impact on your net worth. So, and the interesting thing about net worth is, for a lot of people, it's just a concept. It's not something that's real or something that they understand fully. Because if it's like me, when I grew up, the term was always rich. So, growing up in the neighborhood, you had people who worked at the GM plant, and man, we thought that they were rich. People who may have worked at different other jobs and made good income, we thought that they were rich because they may have had, a nice car. They may have had, even back in the, I'm aged myself, back in the 80s, they may have had the satellites that you go out and turn so you can get so many different channels. So some of you probably laughing who grew up and maybe in not so metropolitan areas. that had those big dishes, and you remember that in the yard where people used to turn them and get different channels because we only have 3 or 4 channels, 4 channels including PBS. And so whenever you saw those things, you were like, hey, they're rich. But as I've come to learn is that rich is kind of like an income thing. You can make a good income. You can afford nice things if you make a good income. You can buy nice stuff. But are you truly wealthy? Are you truly gaining financial independence just because you make a good income? Again, you could be deemed to feel rich because you can have things, but are you building wealth? And that's a big difference. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about net worth. Net worth is a function of your wealth. Like, so as your net worth grows, your wealth grows. And wealth is not just the income you make, it is what your money is doing for you, whether it's providing you some extra security in case things go wrong or you have some setback. Is it providing you security, safety? Is it making money for you? Is your money, as Warren Buffett says, working while you sleep? Then you're developing net worth, you're developing wealth. So that's a key thing. So again, growing up, I was thinking, hey, man, you want to be rich. Well, you don't necessarily, rich is fine, I guess. Making a good income is great. But if you make a great income and you spend it all, then you're not developing wealth. So when we focus on net worth, we're focusing on wealth. And it's a great measure of your financial health. And it's when we're looking at that for a client and we're trying to measure it over time, we're looking at how can we best position your assets? How can we help you reduce liabilities? And that will help you grow as far as health over time. And so many times clients ask me, they come in or before they become clients, they come in and say, hey, all right, I want to know where I stand, especially this time of year. Everybody wants to measure and say, where do I stand? Here's what I've done in my life. Here's wherever stage you're in, am I okay? Am I doing uh, uh, decent? Am I doing an okay job? And it's something I get asked all the time. And believe me, I do believe that comparisons is the thief of joy. So just comparing ourselves to others, I don't think is what we should do because we all have different paths. We all have different goals. We all have different not only paths, but past. And so we don't always kind of measure ourselves, or we shouldn't always measure ourselves against others. We should try to do the best that we can. And so I do believe comparison is the thief of joy. But I do think that we can take the information of where someone stands and use it constructively to help that family kind of think of where they want to go in the future. Not necessarily just as a measure of all the things that have happened in the past, but we want to understand that, but we also want to say, okay, this is where you are, and here are the things you can do to get to the future. So that's what we're going to constructively use that. And so during the holidays, I'm reading the and don't laugh at me, the Survey of Consumer Finance Report, 2016 and 2019. So it's before the pandemic, but the report had a lot of interesting information, not just on net worth is what we're going to talk about today, but it also had on income, it had on education, measurement of race. It had so much good information that, again, not for comparison's sake, but also just to kind of see where we are as a nation, and where we can improve. And so it's a report that the Federal Reserve comes out with, and I think they do it every 4 years or so. So this was 2016 and 2019. So I'm gonna pull out a couple of numbers, so for you to kind of see the context of what I'm saying with this report, and you might be able to, calculate your net worth and see where you stand. Again, not for comparison sake, but to use it in a constructive way to build your family and your financial life in the future. So they had, based on age range, and then they had the median and they had the mean numbers for certain age range for net worth. Now, for those of you who did not take statistics, and for those statisticians, please forgive me if I don't tell this 100% correctly, but I'm trying to give people an idea of median and mean, okay? So median is that number in the middle. All right, so you have a room full of people. What's the number in the middle? So that means 50% of the people, or just as many people on one side of the number who are below the number, and just as many people on the other side are above the number. Okay, so that's the median. So, and then the mean is the average of the people in the room. So everybody can have a number, a net worth number, and what's the average? So somebody may be negative and somebody may be billionaire. And so you take the average and you get the average for the room. Okay, so in this survey, you have the median number. And so anything below it, you got the same number of people who are below it and above it. All right. So the way I would think of it is again, if we look at the median number, then there's half the people who are typically less and half the people who are typically more. So we look at the median number for the age 35 to 44 years of age. That median net worth is $91,000. The mean, which is the average, is $436,000. So if I'm between the ages of 35 and 44, I'm trying to measure myself or see where I am, see where I stand as people ask me. $91,000 is the middle number, is the number that half the people are less or half the people are more. So it's right in the middle. All right. 436 is the average in the room. So if I want to be above average, I'll go 436,000. For ages 45 to 54, that number increases to 168,000 is the median number, and 833,000 is the average. Okay, now I'm gonna skip to age 65 to 74. 65 through 74, the median number is 266,000, and the average is 1.2 million. All right. So it tells a couple of things. Obviously, as you get older, because net worth tends to be a function of time as well as discipline. But as you get older, the net worths are more, right? Net worths in the early ages, the median net worth and the mean are not very far apart. I mean, they are far apart, but they're not, from a dollar standpoint, they're not as, the dollars are not as wide. Maybe from a percentage standpoint, they're equal, but from a dollar standpoint, they're not as wide. So what I would tell you to look at there is kind of understand where you stand on that. And if you're somebody who wants to measure yourself by, hey, I'm on the half of the room that's more, and if you're 45 to 54 years old, then you got 180,000 net worth, then you have a higher net worth than the people in the room, the number that of the median number. But your average is lower. The average is 833. So if you want to be above average, what the average in the room is, then you have to have over 833,000 of net worth if you're between the age of 45 and 54. So again, people always ask me where I stand. So I'm giving that information to you to let you know where you stand. And you're probably saying, Stanley, what do I do with that? What does this mean? And I don't necessarily know what it means for you. I'll let you decide that. But you can speak it over with your family and your significant other and determine where you want to be in this number and how do you want to progress in your number, or how, if you're already past the mean, okay, how do you make sure that you blow past whatever may be the average in the next at the next age range? So you can take a look at that survey of Consumer Finance Report 2016, 2019 that Federal Reserve put out. You can Google it. We'll put it in the show notes as well. And you can kind of see the other data that's in there again as you try to look at it. But here's the thing I want to do with it today is I want to pull a few things out of there that talks about how the factors that help people have a higher net worth. Because when I talk about my dad all the time, and my dad said, "Hey, if you want to be poor, do what poor people do." Well, I took that a little step further, and I said I went into finance at Tulane University because I wanted to learn what wealthy people do. I want to learn how they do it, so I can implement at least some of those things in my life, and I can go through those things with clients as well. So, in looking at that and reading this report, there are 7 things that maybe going into the new year, you can try to do 1 or 2 of them or more than that and try to increase your net worth, do things that's going to impact your net worth. One is home ownership. So let's start with number 1. Home ownership was one of the factors that people who own homes typically had a higher net worth. Okay. So home ownership is really important. Now, that may be a tough thing in 2023 for us to talk about. Rates have gone up, house prices up, payments are up. But if you are in a position and your goal was to own a home, then as you're looking to try to increase your net worth over time, this might be a good thing to do over a long period of time. Now, again, I know house values are higher, interest rates are more. We don't know what the future may hold. But when it's your time and you're ready, then buying a home tends to, over time, help you have a higher net worth. And if you're not in a position to do it now, set your goals and start saving and put money to the side and learning more about home ownership. We've had previous episodes on mortgages and things like that and home buying. So learn more about home ownership so that you could, again, be in a number that's above the median and above the average, the mean. And number 2 is pay down debt. So a lot of times people say, "Hey, I'm going into the new year and I want to pay off credit cards. I want to pay off," and that's great. But the impact that it has on it is help your net worth. It helps your financial health. And if you're setting a goal on a bigger scale to help grow your net worth and keep it where it's consistently trying to grow, then paying off debt and paying it down, paying it off, and keeping it low is a very, very strong piece into growing net worth. All right. Number 3, contribute more to your retirement plan. Now, the government this year is giving you they increased the limits on being able to fund your retirement. So in your 401k, if you have a 401k or TSP at work, you can put up to $22,500 in your retirement plan. Most companies have a match. So that means you can put your money up to $22,500 and you can get the company match as well, which then that's also a positive impact on your net worth. If you're over the age of 50, you can put an additional $7,500. You can put up to $30,000 in to your 401k or TSP this year. That's a huge, huge advantage to helping you grow your net worth. 40% of the families in the bottom half of the income distribution did not contribute to their retirement plan. Now, I can understand why. Inflation is high. They may just be trying to make ends meet. But if you can discipline yourself, no matter where you are on that income scale, and you can put 1% in, and then next year put another percent in, and then put another percent in, you are then contributing to your retirement plan because 90% of the people who are in the top 10% of the income distribution, they are putting into their retirement plan. So again, if you want to take the way I changed what my dad said, I want to do what wealthy people do. Well, those people who have higher incomes and are wealthy, and I know that they're more capable, it may seem, but they also are putting money in their retirement plan. And so maybe, again, no matter where you are on the income scale, if you can just make sure you participate and make a contribution as much as you can afford, and then and increase it every year as you get raises, that will be beneficial for you. So that's number 3. Number 4, invest in your education or career training. I mean, we all have heard the adage of, hey, people who have a college degree or had some college make more money than people who who just have high school degree. And to a certain extent, that's true, but it's not an absolute. So you can invest not only in your college education and training, no matter what age you're in. You can go return to college or learn a new trade, whatever. But your training, certifications, and job skills, all those help you increase the income so that you can also not use that income just to be rich and have more things, but to also go into a wealth building pot so you can grow your net worth, whether paying down debt or building up assets. The more, and another twist to this is that the more educated people within this survey, they were more likely to leave an inheritance, and typically their inheritance were larger for people who had lesser education. So that is a little twist, because we know we talk about generational wealth building. Those who have, based on this survey, more education were more likely to leave a inheritance and to typically leave a larger inheritance. That gives a leg up for the next generation, because in generational wealth building, wealth can compound on each other, meaning that, hey, if granddad left the son an inheritance, and the son was disciplined and did what he needed to do, and he left the daughter an inheritance, the daughter then was disciplined and she left her daughter an inheritance, and she was disciplined, and she left her son an inheritance, then those are building on what the granddad did. And that's generational wealth building. It's just not building all the wealth for you now, but so this survey was saying that those who are typically have a college degree are more likely and to leave an inheritance, a large inheritance. Now, I'm not saying that people without college degrees won't. I know several millionaires who don't have a college degree, who have high school education. I know several millionaires, and they will leave an inheritance kit. It's just saying that in this study, it was more likely, and it was a larger one. Okay, so investing in your education not only helps you, but it helps generations. And your career training and your certifications and your job skill not only helps you, but it helps future generations as well. It's a measure of generational wealth building. All right. Number 5, measure your savings rate. So I want you to calculate your net worth when you get out of here. I also want you to measure your saving rate. How much of your money that you're making each year are you saving? My very best clients, those clients who have a healthy net worth and a growing net worth, they save 25 to 30% of their income. Okay. So I'm not saying you have to be there today, but I'm saying it's a good target to have, to understand where you are now and save those dollars. In this country, when the pandemic happened, the savings rates went through the roof. Everybody saved more money because we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't travel. We couldn't go out to eat. Savings rate, people still made their incomes, and savings rates went high. But now the saving rate has gone down to roughly around 3 to 4% now. We're all spending more money, which is causing inflation to get higher because everybody's spending. And so it would be good in 2023 if the vast majority of Americans say, hey, I want to increase my savings rate and not my consumption rate. Now, it may not be good for the economy at a point in time if we didn't all consume, but over the long run, it would help people be able to sustain themselves longer. So number 5 is measure your savings rate and look at it and try to hit that 25 to 30% target. And give yourself however many years you need to get there. Number 6 is to realize that this net worth building is not a get rich quick thing. We're not going to get lottery tickets and hopefully that we're going buying these various investments that we've heard of over the last couple of years and trying to get rich quick. Those things may happen. I mean, it may happen to a number of people, but it's a very consistent, disciplined way of saving and investing that helps the average person grow their net worth over time. Okay, so consistency and time, you increase that saving rate, you do it consistently, and you do it over time. That's the way to grow your net worth in a positive way. Number 7 is the biggest factor. People who own a business, who have businesses, and who have real estate typically have larger net worth. Now, not everybody can be a business owner. Not everybody has the skill level or the desire to be a real estate owner. I understand that, but if there are ways you can get you can participate in business ownership or real estate and be disciplined over time and not risk your other financial future, but carve yourself pieces or become a business owner because you have a passion and you built savings up to do that. If you go back and listen to episode 2, we talk about some good principles of business ownership and what's true business ownership in episode 2. So if you go and you look at doing those things, I take it back. It was episode 3. It was with William Taylor. I'm sorry. But if you go back and you look at those principles that we have and you work to build a business that's based around your passion and your skill set and everything, then over time, because businesses take a long time to develop, and if you have the risk capacity to do it, over time, it is a good way to grow your net worth. In this study, most people, 40% of the families in that top 10% had businesses. 40% of the families who were in that top 10%, they owned businesses. And so it is one of the ways that if that's a direction you were ever going to do, get you a business plan, get prepared financially, get great counsel, and try to follow your passion and look and see if that's something that you really want to do. All right. So those are the 7 steps. Try your best to focus in this new year of growing your net worth. Pick one or more of these 7 items: home ownership, pay down debt, contribute to your retirement plan more, invest in your education or career training, measure your savings rate and get to the 25 to 30%. Remember, it's not get rich quick, be consistent. All right. And number 7, business ownership or real estate. Okay. So do that over time. Give it your best shot. I wish you great wealth and health in 2023. And we'll see you next time. But most importantly, have fun on this journey. And we'll see you next time on Dads and Dollars.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Dads and Dollars. If you found the information shared today valuable, please share with your friends and family via your social media. If you have a request for a future financial topic for Dads and Dollars, please email us at ask@dadsanddollars.com. For further information on your financial journey, you may purchase The Quest for Financial Independence, 10 Areas of Your Financial Planning You Should Not Ignore, by visiting our website, dadsanddollars.com. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision. Individual tax and legal matters should be discussed with your tax or legal professional. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance reference is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Traditional IRA account owners have considerations to make before performing a Roth IRA conversion. These primarily include income tax consequences on the converted amount in the year of conversion, withdrawal limitations from a Roth IRA, and income limitations for future contributions to a Roth IRA. In addition, if you are required to make a required minimum distribution, RMD, in the year you convert, you must do so before converting to a Roth IRA. Asset allocation does not ensure a profit or protect against a loss. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of these strategies. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Guests and their companies are not affiliated with or endorsed by LPL Financial or Intellis Advisory Group. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services offered through Intellis Advisory Group, a registered investment advisor. Intellis Advisory Group and Intellis Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.